Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
In the bush, deep in the bush, to talk about the girls, women even, maybe some beaches in house, because there's many of those these days. But we have to be real quiet so they don't get angry. They don't turn into witches. When the beaches turn into witches, we in trouble, boys. So today we're gonna talk about what I don't really like about women or beaches in house. What are some of the things that I don't find attractive, and maybe some of them are kinda big red flags even. You could say these things are, some people say they are completely subjective, my own personal opinion. I agree to a certain degree, because beauty can also be very objective. We look two different people and pretty much everybody is gonna say the other one is gonna be more beautiful, if there is a big difference there. If it's a close match, then it gets a more subjective. But you see, I'm not here to bash women. I'm not here to bash bitches and hoes. If some of these hit you in that right spot, you get triggered, that's your problem. If you get triggered, you know there's some work, there's something ain't quite right there. If you get triggered by somebody who you don't even know to talk about something. The point here is not to bash women, not to bash even the bitches and hoes. Do your thing if it makes you happy. But the point here is that relationships are the key part, one of the key pillars of a good life as a human being. We all need those. And this video came into my mind space. The inspiration came and I was thinking about my past relationships, and especially those relationships that turned into love and actually real relationships, and why they ended. What happened in those relationships of mine that made it not last? What was the root cause to the destruction of those relationships? And I realized that it was me. Every single one of these, there are multiple ones, that there was actual relationships that both parties fell in love. And the root cause was me, and it was me in a sense that I lost the attraction to the person I was being with. I lost the love, and that was the starting point towards the end of that relationship. So that's where I'm coming from, to share these things that make you lose attraction to the maybe even love of your life, who knows. But the women in general, it would be great to have some based women share their perspective here on the base knowledge. But women usually don't really talk about on a really deep level what they don't find attractive in men. And they most times even lie when they talk about what they find attractive in men. Maybe they want to keep their secrets. I don't know. Maybe they don't even really know themselves what they do find attractive in men. That could be very true, especially with the younger women. But these things are subconscious though. The attraction, it comes subconsciously. You don't have to think about it really. So these are some of the things I came up with in my mind that I have found that I really find unattractive, kind of red flags you could say, about women. Number one, when the women's mind is closed. It's set on certain ideas and beliefs. I find this very hard to be a relationship with that kind of person. But maybe this is just me, because at the base knowledge, our eye is open all of the times, mind very open to new ideas. And if we are wrong here, we are wrong. I can accept it and move on with better ideas towards the truth. But if the women you want to be with, even if you find her very physically attractive, but in the long term, if her mind, the intelligence is kinda not there, her mind is not open to different ideas and beliefs, this can be very problematic if you wanna create a family with that woman. Now, if you don't wanna have family, that's a big problem in the first place. But then maybe you could deal with this, but also you might get real bored in those kind of relationships. But if you want to create those children, and if your ideas differ a lot to your girl's ideas, how to raise those children, what's good for those children, and she ain't open to your ideas, and maybe you ain't open to her ideas, or you see that those ideas are bullshit, that they can lead to a lot of harm and suffering and pain, then that's a big problem. You ain't gonna be raising a healthy family in that kind of environment, mental space environment between two parties. So that's my first red flag here. If it ain't working on a mental level, the physical attraction might be one freaking thousand, but it ain't working on a mental, intelligent level. You guys ain't understanding each other. There's not gonna be a good, healthy future there, especially for your kids, your children, that you should be having. Number two, if she doesn't want to have children, that tells me a lot about her state of being. And there is an increasing amount of women, if you go dating apps, there is usually that option that tells you what you want to do with the procreation thing. And these days many women are not sure yet. But you're 35, bitch. What are you talking about? You 30 and you're not sure yet? This tells me a lot about you. And then there is also those that straight up say, not for me. Okay, enjoy, good luck, tell me how it's going. I ain't seeing many happy people like that. And straight up, it tells you that the girl's biochemical state has to be kind of fucked up. Because in our nature, for most of us, there are maybe those 1% of people that are different. They are the exceptions to the rule. But most of us, we have that urge to have those kids, to procreate. That's why we wanna have these relationships with the other sex. And if you ain't about their life, tells me a lot what you about. And if you're not sure yet, maybe you're just misguided. Maybe there's a chance then there, who knows. But still, it is a kind of red flag, in my honest opinion, at least for me. Next up is a package deal. It's multiple different things in the one package. And the more the girl has these things in her, the bigger the red flag, basically. It's a walking big red flag. One is very career oriented. She's wearing those blazers, those man clothes, businessman clothes. That's very unattractive. Incredibly. She cuts her hair short. That's a big red flag to me. Every girl looks better with a longer hair. Even if they're very beautiful, they can look very good with a shorter hair. But if they would have longer hair, the longer hair version is always gonna be more beautiful to most men. At least that's what I think, and I think most men think. So she cuts her hair very short, like this, or even shorter, like man hair, basically. Very business oriented, wearing those blazers. Very skinny. Many of these kind of women, very skinny. Skinniness basically just signals infertility. It's not attractive at all. She works out a lot, way too much. She's into plant-based diets. Very skinny looking, even if there is a very beautiful woman under there. And I understand why women go into this career, this kind of route. I really get it. And these women usually very unhappy, extremely unhappy. You can just see it from their look. They got that resting bitch face or whatever. They look very unhappy when you look at their eyes. But maybe you can change her. Maybe you can change this bitch. Who knows? And many times these women are kinda desperate also. I feel like they have just gone to the wrong path in life. Very masculine path also. If they're that business type of women that cuts her hair short. And their attitude about life is very unattractive. Also, most times they try to boss you around or whatever. They're not in their feminine archetype, you could say. They don't live in that. But when you hook up with these girls, many times they kinda freaks in their sheets, if you know what I mean. Because they have that feminine core big time still intact there. And when they repress that nature in their everyday lives, they basically wearing all kind of masks inside of their true self in this society. And I get it. It's just wrong path these girls took. For whatever reason, might be some childhood trauma, whatever. It's pretty sad, to be honest. But they're repressing that feminine nature. They're wearing those masks. They try to fit into this very unnatural society. They try to make their money, that cash. But these things ain't making them happy. You can just look at them in the eyes, in their face. They're very unhappy. You can look at their appearances. They almost try to destroy their feminine nature, even though they want that feminine nature to blossom. And sometimes when you hook up with these kind of girls, there's many stories, many experiences like this. They bring their feminine nature out enough freaking very unnatural scales, like, because they've been repressing it so long. And then when it finally can come out to play, so to speak, it comes out in such a strong force that it can be kinda intimidating and very off-putting. And this is what happens when people don't walk in balance. They dip too far out here, and then they get this chance to actually be what they wanna be, but they really cannot even be that anymore because it goes way out here. The pendulum swings way too much because they live in such unnatural lives and they repress their nature so much, so it turns to these perversions, these dysfunctions, and they don't walk that straight path, that balanced path. But that's just what I'm been observing. Now next up we got these tattoos. everywhere. That's increasing amount of young women also. They pretty much destroy their feminine beauty with these shitty ass tattoos. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like every woman would look better without the tattoos. And the more they have those tattoos, the more it tells me that they are very damaged, very traumatized, wounded. And the tattoos just don't look good either. They ruin the femininity again. Turns women more masculine-like. Now if you're one of those, that you're very damaged yourself, you're very traumatized by yourself, maybe the tattoos are actually good. They're kind of nature's way to show you the people that are already very damaged. And I feel sorry for you guys. I really do. I understand. This system fucks people up left and right. But this is kind of like nature's way to show, okay, these people are already too damaged. They have to be together with themselves and create whatever chaos they're gonna create. Maybe they can heal. I'm open to it. Maybe they can heal together. All the best to you, but it shows the rest of us that you basically too far gone. The more tattoos, the more damage and less attractive you're gonna look as a woman, to be honest. So the tattoos big part. Then all these plastic surgeries, fake titties, fake lips, Botox, different hair colors, a lot of makeup, wanting attention all the time, posting yourself basically nude to the Instagram, OnlyFans. Nothing is never enough. These kind of women, and they are very many also these days, but it tells me that you ain't content with yourself. You are not happy inside of your own skin. You try to be more than you are. You're compensating. You're coping big time. These are like the women gym, no fap, semen retention things. Women have their copes also. And many young women and older women, they're coping real hard out here. Basically, the more attention you try to seek with all these different methods, you are constantly changing your style, hair colors, hairstyles, makeup styles. You're constantly changing your fashion sense, whatever. You always need to have more clothes, more this or that. You're never happy with the present moment, basically. You're never happy about yourself in a deep level. Again, you're not balanced human being. And I understand this system fucks us up. So basically, maybe this is just another nature's way to show that these people do far gone in the nature. Maybe you can be the change in her life, but be real careful with women like this. Like really, really careful. You can waste your years, your money as a man, your resources to this type of women easily, because you don't see clear. They got that attraction. They might be really attractive, but is it really gonna be worth it? Is the relationship gonna be long-lasting, everlasting? Are you gonna procreate with these kind of girls? Are you gonna raise happy, healthy children together with these kind of girls? Now, these kind of girls, many times also, when you are in a relationship, they still post all these half-naked photos everywhere. They still want to seek that attention. To my experience, when a woman falls in love with a guy, she don't do any of that. She feels content in that relationship. She feels loved, and she stops. If she ever did that, it would be better if she never did any of those attention-seeking bitches and hoes kind of things. It would be way better. But if she did, she kinda stops doing that when she finds a real nice guy, attractive guy that she actually feels that she can fall into love and form a real good relationship with. She kinda stops all that. But then there is these relationships when the girl still does many of those things I talked about, and I always feel very bad for the guys. There has to be either the guy just accept that we're just gonna make money with this whoring. Basically, the guy himself is also very damaged. He don't give a fuck about nothing anymore, and there's kinda this soulless feeling in that relationship. Maybe I'm wrong. Or the other thing is that the girl the guy is with, the girl doesn't find the guy attractive. She's just using him for his resources or whatever, but she wants that attention from other guys still because she cannot fulfill her sexual energy, sexual needs, sexual desires with this guy he's in relationship with. So those are the two options there. Both suck ass, obviously, and I always feel very bad for those guys. And the worst is obviously when she actually doesn't do any of this at the first place, when the relationship starts, then the honeymoon phase or whatever. But after a while you can start to see the girl start posting those bikini photos in summer, those thirst traps, whatever. She starts to do all of that. She wants to be with very little clothes out there in the interwebs. She seeks that attention, new hairstyle, a lot of makeup, new clothes, skimpy clothes. Those are the worst ones. You should basically just, well, I don't know this, but to me, you should basically quit it right there, to be honest. But who knows? Those are just some of the big red flags also. Very attention seeking, not content in the present moment ever really. Always longing for something more and more and more. Hedonism type shit. That ain't good. That's a big red flag. Next up, more subtle things that can be very unattractive but can also be changed very easily if her mind is open for change. If not, dump that bitch. But these things are things like bad breath, very unattractive, but it comes from you eating the wrong kind of stuff. Your intestines, your stomach, it's fucked up, but you can change that. If you feel attraction otherwise, you can change the bad breath over time, kinda easily. So there's that. But bad breath, these all are basically nature's way to say also to you that the girl is fucking up. He's not following nature in general, and nature basically gives you clues in these ways that you ain't living right now. You ain't living healthily. So bad breath, that's one. Bad skin, acne, that's obviously very unattractive. A lot of farting, also smelling bad, like bad breath. These things incredibly unattractive to human beings. But the fix is kinda easy. It's all about your health, changing what you eat, maybe changing the chemicals. Girls be using so many toxic chemicals on their skin, their hair. They have all these makeup and shampoos and deodorants and whatever the fuck they're into that are completely unnatural. So the change is pretty easy. Change what you eat, change your environment basically. These things ain't the end. These are more subtle. They are not the worst thing in the world. But if she doesn't listen to you, she don't wanna change, she wants to take part of of these things and continue these unhealthy habits, what do you think's your offspring gonna be like if you mate with her, procreate with her? And obviously you're gonna suffer also, because you have to be with her with all these very unattractive things, like bad breath, kissing somebody with a very bad breath. That ain't fun. That ain't really how you're supposed to make. Give her downstairs things a lot. That's also a lot to do with just the overall health of her body. So these things can be changed easily. But if the mind is not open, she don't wanna change basically. That's a big problem again. That's a big problem. We have to move here. It's pretty cold today. So obesity also. The girls is too fat. Our girls should be. Little bit. Nobody likes that Euclidean women. Like Alan Watts said, that basically means those skinny bitches I was talking about. Because that means infertility. Nature's way to say to you that the bitch is infertile. And many of these business girls that earn so much money, they could have such amazing diets with all that money. They got the resources. They sacrifice their time and health to make that money. But then they don't even get the right food with that money. But also obese women ain't really that beautiful either. Hate to say it to you that try to make these obese bitches be so beautiful. But to me they look kinda unhealthy. They kinda like this freaking mushroom right here. This is the proper one. This is a fatty mushroom. Or maybe that's just really fertile mushroom. Who knows? I don't think mushrooms really do it like that. But anyway, obesity ain't really that good looking either. So what do we got here? We got those close-minded bitches. They don't want to change their ideas and beliefs. And if they're really bad, it's a big problem. But you could say anyways, their bitches shouldn't be thinking that much. You should be doing the thinking. And if they don't follow your lead, that's a problem. They do masculine or whatever. Next up we got those masculine, business, career-oriented bitches who got those short hair. They don't like to look like women anymore. They're repressing their feminine nature. They don't want children anymore. They're skinny, they over-exercise. They eat plant-based diets. They infertile. That's why they don't want those kids anymore. Or if there's some idea and belief system there that they don't want kids, that's dangerous. Those ones really don't seem that fun to be around with. To create a fun-loving relationship, right? Don't seem like that to me. Oh, here's some poop. Is that moose poop or whatever? That's not moose poop. It's so small. Anyway, then we got those attention-seeking bitches and hoes. They don't be content with anything. They always on the future. Also, they probably very anxiety-ridden. That's just my experience and what I see. You cannot really trust those type of bitches. Like at all. They want that attention. Nothing is ever enough for them. And probably they also mix with that business career-oriented type bitches. Like this is whole big bag of red flags of the modern society. And many girls fall into many of these. And the more they have these flags, the further away you should be of them. Maybe. But maybe you could be the one. You could be the chosen one to lead this bitch to a healthy family. That could always happen. I'm open to it. Then we got those tattoos. All those tattoos, fake tits, fake lips, buttocks, a lot of makeup, skimpy photos. They wanna be naked all the time in the public. Yeah. Attention. They want that sexual attention from other men also. Never trust a bitch like that. Never a good idea. They're gonna break your heart like that. And finally we got those more easily fixable problems like bad breath, stinky downstairs, acne, farting a lot. Basically just problems with their health. You could change these ones easily. You could be the chosen one here. You could be a real chosen one here. If they wanna follow you, like feminine females they wanna follow a leader. But are you the leader though? You should be the leader. You should be telling them what to do. You should have their base knowledge and share it with them. If I come up with something else later, I'm gonna add it to the end. But those are the main ones. Avoid those bitches. And sorry if you're one of those women. You fall into these kind of traps. I understand, and I feel sorry for you. Change is possible still. You can still create that healthy family if you find the right guy. Okay, it was 10 seconds when I quit that shit and I came up with another one. And this is a big one for guys. If they are already very touched, they have a lot of experience prior to your guys' relationship. Guys, and I think girls also, hate this shit. And this can also destroy relationships easily. If the girl has been a real bitch and hoe before she met you, like we don't want to hear that shit. There's a reason why these religions promise like 30 virgins for these guys if they blow up something or go to war or whatever. Like guys love virgins for a reason. We wanna be that one to introduce the women to sexy times, and there is also natural reason, because when we have our first partner and if we both virgins and then we do the thing, we will probably procreate at that point in the nature. It creates this extremely tight bond. We basically pair bond maxing, and this is just one of the ways to destroy relationships these days, that everybody's so into multiple partners, and it is so cool to fuck around and find out that there is nothing at the end but broken dreams and broken hearts and a lot of wounds and drama. So that's one thing. One last thing, it's a kind of sad thing. It can really destroy relationships when you start to find out about your partner's history, and even worse if you get like STD from your partner. That really sucks. That really ruins the love, the mood of a relationship. It really kills that attraction again. So that's a big red flag. But these days I don't even know if you should talk about that. You probably should if you want to create that healthy family with her, which could be impossible if she a real hoe. This kind of dies up to that attention seeking point also. You can, the signs are there, the signs are everywhere. Nature gives you signs. If you have the eyes to see, you can see these things pretty freaking easily and clearly. So use your freaking eye and analyze these bitches. Are they good for you or are they not? Can you create a healthy family with them or not? Be real cautious and never trust a bitch or a hoe. See ya.